আপনার বাসাটা কোথায় মামুন ভাই?
স্যার আমি তো কুষ্টিয়া বাসা, আমি পোস্টেড দিনাজপুরে থাকি।
এখন কোথায় এই মুহূর্তে? দিনাজপুরে।
জি স্যার।
আচ্ছা, বাইরে মানে একেবারে শহরের মাঝখানে?
শব্দ হচ্ছে স্যার?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ,
আমার মেন রাস্তা একটু কাছেই তো স্যার।
সেটাই বলছি, মানে মেইন রাস্তার কাছে, মানে শহরের একেবারে মাঝখানে।
জি স্যার।
আচ্ছা, ফ্যামিলি নিয়ে এখানে থাকেন নাকি না?
জি স্যার ফ্যামিলি নিয়ে থাকি।
আচ্ছা, ওকে, তাহলে জাস্ট মঈনকে তো চেনেন? মঈন?
হ্যাঁ, মইনুল স্যার, এডিশনাল চিফ ইঞ্জিনিয়ার।
ও আমার ব্যাচমেট, মানে আমরা ক্যাডেট কলেজে একসাথে পড়েছি।
ঝিনাইদহ ক্যাডেট স্যার।
হ্যাঁ, আমার ফ্রেন্ড।
জি স্যার,
কাছের ফ্রেন্ড।
জি স্যার তো চিফ ইঞ্জিনিয়ার হবে।
চিফ ইঞ্জিনিয়ার?
হ্যাঁ, সামনে 2 বছর পরে।
আচ্ছা,
টানা 8 বছর থাকবে যদি মানে সরকার রাখে।
আচ্ছা,
খুব ভালো মানুষ, অনেস্ট মানুষ।
ফ্যামিলি থেকে পেয়েছে। আমি অনেক বছর ধরে চিনি তো। ফ্যামিলি মানে কি, ওর ফ্যামিলি অমন ছিল একেবারে।
জি স্যার।
ভেরি গুড ফ্যামিলি। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে, আমরা ইনশাআল্লাহ। আচ্ছা, একটা মিনিট, একটু শুরু করি। Okay, we can start. Anand, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you, sir?
Okay, I'm fine. How is the weather in Borishal?
Actually, it's quite warm, sir.
Quite warm. Okay,
Yes,
so did you have a fun day today? Okay, what about your HSC? Now,
it's really one of a great relief, sir. Actually,
you are relieved?
Yes, sir.
You are kind of happy, all of you?
Yes, sir. I'm kind of happy, sir. Actually, I had a long-term break from studies, so as a result, it would be quite hard for me to again cope up with the syllabus. So I think it's easy.
Okay, it's okay. So whatever has happened, you're happy. You're okay. Okay, yes. So what's your next plan? What you're planning about your future? Not actually, future, next step. What you're planning?
Actually, next step is I think it depends on the declaration, because there will be some changes in the admission process of the different universities, and I'm just now doing the Woodbush coaching seriously, and then let's see. I will take steps according to the situation.
Fine. Okay. So let me ask you a few questions. Are there?
Sure.
Let's start with Atik Bhai.
Yes, sir.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm waiting.
Okay. Do you like deserts? Okay. Can you see this page? Can you see this page, everybody?
Yeah, I see.
Okay. Do you like deserts?
Yeah. Sometimes after lunch and dinner, I like desserts.
আরেকটা দুইটা, say আরেকটু, মানে এটা হলো বেসিক, মানে যারা আর একটা দুইটা বলতে পারবে তাদের ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজের উপর আরেকটু
one or two হচ্ছে the sentences
অথবা বলতে পারে this is my favorite, my wife এটা বলতে পারেন আপনার ওয়াইফ এটা খুব ভালো রাঁধে, অথবা এটা বানায়, এই ধরনের। মানে এটা মানে কি, এটা হচ্ছে ন্যাচারাল। বাংলায় আমরা হয়তো বলতাম, কারণ আমরা বাংলায় আমাদের ওইটা চিন্তা করি না যে এটা বলতে পারবো কি পারবো না। এই ধরনের একটা ন্যাচারাল ইয়ে আছে, বিশেষ করে আমাদের জন্য, কারণ আমরা তো অতটা, এটা তো আর নেটিভ না আমরা, সো আমরা এটা বলা মানে আমরা চেষ্টা করছি। ওকে, সো ডু how often do you eat cakes?
When a marriage ceremony or any special occasion in after dinner, I like to take pudding, paesh, and other sweetmeat as a dessert.
Okay, have you ever made a cake by yourself?
No, but I sometimes help my wife when she makes a cake. I observe and help her, but I personally did not make a cake.
No, I haven't made. I haven't made any cakes.
I haven't made any cakes. Yeah.
Atik bhai, you are from Kushtia probably, huh?
Now I am staying in Kushtia.
Oh, you are staying, but you are from other district. You know, you came from.
Yeah, in my service, which is your own district, you will never get a posting in your birthplace. This is the strategy of the department.
I see. I didn't know that. Okay, just a moment.
Yeah.
মোট 1218 টাকা বাজার করছে। আমাদের ছিল টোটাল 1462 টাকা, 240 টাকা আছে স্যার।
মাত্র আরো কিছু টাকা দিয়ে যায়। আমি তো ওই যে ছুটিতে যাব, যদি বাজার সবাই লাগে।
Okay, so I was asking a question. Okay, how do you find the sweets in Kushtia?
Sorry, please again.
How do you find the sweets, the quality of sweets in Kushtia?
Oh yeah, the quality of sweets in Kushtia is very good.
Very good.
Very good. The famous sweets here is kalajam, rashmalai, doi, etc.
How do you compare it with your own town, own town? And if you,
I think
different?
Yeah, Kushtia is comparatively a big district than my birthplace, and here lots of cows and goats dwell here. So
okay,
a lot of milk production here. So it is better than my birthplace.
Okay. Our Mamun Bhai is from Kushtia. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Mamun
sir.
Bhai, he's from Kushtia.
I'm from Kushtia.
So
I belongs to Kushtia.
So I was a little bit worried whether Atik Bhai may say something, you know, something that.
Kushtia is famous for tiler khaja, sir.
Tiler khaja.
And kulfi malai is exceptional.
Okay.
The Black Bengal, that
The
is
Black
from
Bengal.
Gangni, Merpur. It is very much famous. Many people try to get Black Bengal from different corners of the country.
Okay.
Because it's very tasty and delicious, and people are infatuated to get the mutton chop from Gangni.
Okay, so Anand.
Often we try.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and then how is the sweet in Borisha? Is it better than that of Natik Bhai's and Mamun Bhai's place?
Actually, sir, they said according to their own experience. So I don't want to compare with that. There's their personal opinion, and people also has very in-depth taste. So my sense of taste could not be same as them.
But
So
no. But do people in Borishal they love sweets?
yes, sir, they
Very much.
actually yes, sir, they love
I think
sweets.
everybody in Bangladesh they love it.
Yes, sir.
They love
Actually,
sweets.
it's a quite relief to have a sweet or dessert item after taking some heavy food.
Okay. So let me ask you.
I had been there in Borishal.
Borishal, okay.
For 1 hour.
Only 1 hour.
1 year, sir.
Oh, 1 year. Okay.
1 year. When I was in Bangladesh Water Development Board.
Okay.
I used to take sweet meat from Borishal. I think the sweet quality of Borishal sweets is far better than Kustia. Because,
far better than Kustia. Okay.
You know,
here you
Borishal
go,
is famous for cheese. The Gauronadi cheese is very much famous, and they are producing so much.
Okay. I see. Okay. So let me ask others. Atik Bhai, are you there?
Yes.
Do you usually use a pen or a pencil?
I usually use both pen and pencil.
Both pen and pencil.
But most of the times I use pens.
Okay, pen. When was the last time you bought a pen or pencil? Do you remember? Or you get it from your office? You don't have to buy it.
At this moment, I cannot remember the last time when I bought a pen or pencil.
Okay, you don't remember. How would you feel? Did you get a pen as a gift? What was the last? Do you remember getting a pen as a gift?
Oh yeah. It is a very pleasant moment for me when I got the job and joined the government job. My elder brother gifted me a pen, which was very magnificent and red color.
Okay, Atik bhai, how many districts you have visited? Visited. You have visited many, but you have worked in. You have stayed for work. How many districts? How many? 5 or 6 could be.
I worked 4 districts.
4 districts. Okay, among those, which district you found the most beautiful? In respect to scenery.
Among those, I worked in Rajshahi, Nator, Faridpur, and now in Kustia.
Among which you really.
I love very much.
Yeah.
I love very much Rajshahi. Rajshahi is a very beautiful, neat and clean city and calm city. And people live. They are very comfort and essential commodities price is lower price than any other part of Bangladesh, and also the house fare is low as a divisional city.
I see. So you will suggest others if they want to move to a city, if someone has the option, he can choose Borisha. Oh, sorry, Rajshahi.
Rajshahi.
Okay. Mamun bhai?
Yes, sir.
When you are traveling, do you like to stay in places with beautiful views? Oh, no. Yeah, when you are traveling, I don't know what kind of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you like to stay in places with beautiful views?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mohan bhai, let me ask you. So, did any particular district? Huh? You are marveled at seeing the beautiful views. Any particular that you are really fascinated? There are some districts more beautiful than others. They have rivers and everything.
I had the opportunity to stay in Chittagong, sir, for 2 years.
Where?
Chittagong.
Chittagong.
Chittagong, yes, sir.
Okay, you have been to many places there. Chittagong?
Yes, Chittagong hill tax area. Most often I visited there and took some snapshot and enjoyed the natural beauty, the tortuous road, the scenic beauty of along the road side. I enjoyed the coffee shop adjacent to road. Recently, Radisson Hotel has been built in there. So I enjoyed very much. Sometimes I visited Patinga Beach also. So I think Chittagong is the best.
Oh, you loved it. It's different. I think Chittagong is quite different.
And
the other places are mostly, because those are
people are getting so much amenities in Chittagong.
Yes.
Where you might get everything.
Okay, fine. Anand, are you good at memorizing numbers? How many phone numbers you have memorized?
Actually, I was good in memorizing numbers, but after the advancement of technology, I don't remember that much number. But I remember my father's number, mother's number, my uncle's number, and there are also some phone numbers which are extra SIM numbers. Total sum of 6 to 8 phone numbers I've memorized.
You have memorized. Okay. Okay. So, Atik bhai, are you good at numbers?
Yeah.
Are you good at numbers, Atik bhai?
Yeah, I memorize several numbers, whose are my father's, mother's.
Oh, no. This question is: Are you good at numbers? It's not about memorizing number. I'm just asking: Are you good at numbers? With mathematics,
yes.
those dealing with numbers, you feel you are good. Okay. Would you like to have a job dealing with numbers? You will always deal with numbers. Would you like to have a job, or you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I feel comfortable.
Okay. Have you, Mamun bhai? Have you ever been to a museum to learn about history? Have you ever been to a museum to learn about history?
I had the chance to visit the Qutub Minar India last year. I got the chance and availed myself to visit that museum, and I saw so many.
Qutub Minar, where? It's in India.
India, sir.
India.
Yeah, Delhi.
Delhi. You went there.
And there is a. I had also chance to visit the place I could not recollect. That also very much very famous for Indian history from the Mughal period to earliest period. They preserve all the historical events in that museum. I was totally amazed to see their creativity to preserve the history, and that's exemplary. I mean, many foreigners come and visit, and they are astonished, and they can know the Indian history, very precisely they describing.
Okay.
There.
Okay, Mohan bhai. So, Atik bhai, do you like running? Do you love running?
Yes, I like running, but nowadays I haven't enough time to running.
I don't have much time to run. I don't have
Enough time
much
to
run
run.
for running, but is it a part of your job, to run? Do you have to run in the morning? Is it like that or no?
No.
I don't know. We feel that, if you're working in police, you have to keep fit and you run early in the morning. Or no, not necessarily.
No. It is not. Not at present. It is not
Compulsory.
Compulsory for us. It is up to the officer choice. But
Okay.
I always try to work or running evening, but it is not possible for me in the morning.
In the morning, okay. So Anand, have you ever gone for a long distance running, marathon or anything like that? Anand?
No, sir. I didn't participate in marathon or in long distance running, but I participated in some sports in my school. So that was it's like 100 meters or 50-meter short race or 100-meter long race or 150-meter race. That's all.
Okay, fine. Okay. Don't know. Okay, let me ask from other places. This is little, let me ask you some few third part question. I think this will be better.
বন্ধ কর, ওগুলো বন্ধ কর, মোবাইলটা বন্ধ করে না।
Atik bhai?
Yes.
Atik bhai, why do people feel bored?
I think most of the people feel bored. They do same thing in daily activities. At present, for pandemic situation, people cannot go out the home. They are isolated in the home, and lack of recreation and fresh air. I think they feel bored.
Okay. Mamun bhai, how teachers have changed nowadays from class? And can you differentiate any change in traits? How teachers have changed?
Now, to my understanding, teachers are becoming more professional nowadays from past, because in past they have some ideology to teach their students without any extra benefit. But nowadays teachers try to get some extra income from their student. Another point of view is that teachers try to make their student exam dependent, not knowledge student. If anybody get A plus or golden A plus, that's the publicity for their teachers. That's very pathetic, I think. So I think from the point of ideology or ideological thinking, teachers have been changed.
Okay, has changed. Okay. Anand, Anand, would you like to be a teacher? Would you like to be a teacher?
Actually, sir, I don't think I have that patience to just to get the higher degrees and to give them that merit. Actually, I don't think so.
Why? Is there any particular reason? Do you think that being a teacher is a good profession? Or what's the drawbacks? What are the advantages and what's the drawbacks?
So actually, there are many advantages to be a teacher, because first of all, you will have the chance to meet with different types of students, and you can give them the education they want. Besides this, the students will help you in the time of your danger. So it's a really good point for being a teacher. But besides this, for to be a good teacher, you have to have the enough knowledge, and actually I think it's a long term study for and a long time preparation to be a teacher, and I don't think so I will have that much of patience in my life.
Okay, Adnan, are you there? How education nowadays changed from our parents' days? Has it changed in a big way or no? Not really. What do you think? Hello, Adnan? Adnan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you, but there's a sound, I don't know. There's a sound at the background. So, how education nowadays changed from our parents' days?
I think parents' days it was teaching where like was like after school you have to stay in the school for teaching, and there were not that much of coaching centers now like nowadays in the past. And I think facilities of I think they used to study by themselves a lot, and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Mamun bhai,
Yes, sir.
did you ever grow any plants yourself? Did you grow any plants yourself? This one.
Yes, sir. When I worked at Khulna as a subdivisional engineer, I got the opportunity for tree plantation along the roadside, and it was our duty also. And I planted 300
saplings.
tree along the roadside. Another interesting tree was the coconut tree that is originate from Vietnam, and I hope it will give the fruit within 3 years. And the size of tree is not so big, but the production or their production of coconut is very good. Now it's begin to give the fruits, and we are happy to see. And I recently visited Khulna, and I really amazed to see the huge amount coconut which belongs to Vietnam.
Vietnam. Okay, so do they send it to you? Sometimes when it
Sir,
they bear fruits. Have you tasted?
no,
those...
sir, I did not taste it because we have some coconut tree here. We are obsessed with coconut, and I tried to make coconut oil from my own, and it's really tasty and delicious. And
okay,
Mohan,
right?
very salubrious.
Fine. Okay, Anand.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to receive a plant as a gift? Would you be very happy if someone?
Yes, sir. It would be a pleasure for me if someone gives me a plant. Actually, if someone gives me anything, I will be happy, sir.
Okay. Adnan.
Yes, sir.
As a nation, as Bangladesh, do you think we are into plants, planting plants or planting trees, and are we really into that, or no, not really? We think
No, I think I'm kind of into planting trees and
you're
and
kind of
lots of
so it doesn't matter whether you have lived your life in Dhaka or in city, mostly in city or
no.
in a rural
It
area.
doesn't,
It's all about your
really
passion. It's
yeah,
all about your
it's all
love.
about my passion. Yeah, it's all about my love into
Okay.
the nature.
Okay. So so Atik bhai,
Yes, sir.
is it good to give money as gift? What do you think about that? You're offering someone money as gift.
I think in my case, I most of the time I don't like money as a gift. I think if anyone give me something, this should be this should not be cash money. It may be any element, process, materials, and any other things.
Okay. Why? Is there any particular reason? What if you already have a microwave and someone is giving you another microwave? So you definitely don't need two microwaves at the same time. So in that case, wouldn't have been better if you got money as gift, because you could have bought something different?
I think as a gift, to give money anyone is a embarrassing thing. If anyone if anyone wants to give me, he can give me clothes or any other things, but not money. It's a embarrassing situation for me.
Okay, it's your personal opinion.
Yes.
Okay, so what about Anand? Anand?
Yes, sir.
You'd be happy if someone gives you money as a gift, or rather something, a product?
Sir, actually, it's their personal choice whether they give money or the personal product. If they give any personal product, I will gonna keep it safe and gonna keep it as a showcase. And if they give me any money, and that will be also helpful because I'm gonna use that money in different purpose. So actually, every gift is useful for me.
Okay, so is there any difference between that? The money, it's the same thing as long as it's a gift. Money
yes,
is
sir.
also, they are also giving it as a gift. So you don't differentiate.
Yes, sir.
You don't. It doesn't really matter as long as it's useful. Not
Yes,
even
sir.
useful. Gift is a gift. Gift is a gift. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, Adnan.
Yes, sir.
As a family, sometimes you go to marriage, and I think it has been for some days. For most of us, we are missing kachi biryani.
Yeah.
Wedding kachi biryani. So, as a family, think about, you are a part of family. Do you give money or do you give some kind of gifts?
Well, I think that's not a bad thing to give money. If it's like you depends on your situation. It's like you're not getting it what you want to give, or if you think it's gonna be useful for that person, if you give money instead of some gifts or anything. It depends on your personal
Okay.
choice.
So
And
I think, do you think these days more people are giving money instead of gifts?
I think yes. I think
What could be the reason? What could be the reason?
I think the reason could be like money could be, very much useful than things you
Some
want to.
people think that usually these days what happens, people go to honeymoon and
Yes.
you need money, cash, and because they're spending money, so it
Yes,
helps.
exactly.
Sometimes it helps,
Yeah.
honeymoon or another thing. These days, if you're living in place, it's a hassle to go to a shop
Hmm.
and buy something, because if you want to buy a good thing, you'll have to spend time, and everybody's busy. Most of the people are very busy. They come late from office, so I think to avoid this, sometimes this hassle, and some people they have business, and I think it depends. So I think the biggest thing is people think that you are giving something. What if another person gives that thing? I think in my case,
Yes.
that's what I think. And if you have two or three things, what do they do? Do you have any experience? He says, think about you are getting married, or I don't know whether you have already got married or not.
No,
So
no, sir, not.
you no, I'm just saying you got
Okay.
three microwaves. What are you going to do? Are you going to
No, it's not necessary that you use 3 microwaves and
no? I'm saying you might get.
obviously,
You might get.
yeah,
That's the thing.
I might get, and
So people these days
obviously,
think that is better. Sometimes okay.
people think that it's better to give money according
But
to
especially when you are leaving an office, then what people do? They ask them. When you have the option to ask them, then they collect the money and they buy
yes,
something. This is the trend these days, huh? Say that you are living,
yes, sir.
you're working somewhere and you need a freeze, so they put together all the money and so sometimes it becomes
Give a
quite
phrase,
helpful.
yeah.
So it's definitely many years back when we were, when we were, so when we were kids, definitely we saw, we used to see our parents buying gifts. But for the last many years, I've
Hmm.
seen that they feel comfortable. Also, it depends on the person who is giving it. Some people feel that it's better to give something else, money as well, rather than money. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
mm, Mamun bhai, how do you, what do you like doing, in a day out? What do you do in a day out? Mamun bhai, hello, hello.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay, let me ask you another
Yes, sir.
question. Uh, what activities did you do when you were young? Okay, lots of activities, but what you really loved doing when you were a kid?
Uh, I think it. You can say uh, getting out of house, playing with my friends, and enjoy the time after studies. And, lots of stuff which is like playing with the toys and all, uh, and things which is like I don't understand, but still I'm doing it. And these were stuffs where which I used to do when I was young.
Okay, okay, fine. Anand, are you there? And then,
Yes, sir.
okay, would you like to buy a motorbike, a fancy motorbike? You know,
No, sir. Actually, I don't think.
200 cc.
No, sir. I
200
don't think so. It's my age to ride a motorcycle, sir. I think I will buy when I will get a little elder.
elder. Okay, so will you buy that, or do you think it's risky? Some family they don't allow their children to buy.
So actually, it's risky, and it actually depends on the road. Actually, if I use in motorcycle in Dhaka, that would be very useful for me because there are many jams, and I can use the bicycle for to just to cross the jam quickly. And in some roads, there are, and yes, it's risky, but there are also some benefits also for riding a motorcycle, which is like you don't need that so much gas expense, and you can ride quickly and transport fastly to anywhere.
Okay, Mamun bhai, are you there? Hello, Mamun bhai, and Maruf, are you there? Maruf. Okay, can I ask? Oops. Okay, so Atik bhai, are you there? Atik bhai, hello. Atik bhai.
Please.
Acha.
Yes.
Acha. Is there any foreign food you wanted to try, but for some reason you couldn't manage it? Manage to try it out, but you love to try it. Any kind of foreign food? Could be Korean food.
Yes.
It could be which one? Japanese food or anything?
Yeah. I like in the occasion Chinese vegetables.
Oh, you love that.
Yeah, I love that, especially most of the time I love our local food, but in case of foreign food, I like Chinese vegetables. When in any occasion in the house and outside of house, I try to eat Chinese vegetables.
Okay, that's good. Whom can I ask? Adnan?
Yes, sir.
Do you like repairing equipment or rather buy a new one? What if an electronic, something, gadget or something, gets broken?
Oh,
So I think it depends.
it's like yeah, it depends on your I think it depends if it's a very expensive equipment and it's broken. I think depends on how much money you are spending it
Okay,
on.
you're spending. Okay, we rather, and then usually we calculate that. And we calculate that, and then if you think, okay, so have you broken anything that you can remember, something expensive, or it could be electronic thing, in your house? And
in my house that I broke a TV once, and
TV.
Yeah, I broke a TV once, and it was an accident by an accident, and once I broken PlayStation.
Once I broke PlayStation.
Once I broke, yeah.
So it was an accident. No, not intentionally.
Yeah, not intentionally done. So that time there was I could repair the TV, but couldn't repair my PlayStation. So I think for that I need to stay a long time, wait a long time to get a new one. Because it was my mistake. So I won't get it easily, so much easily. So
okay, did you break anything and you didn't let anybody know that? Anything? Nobody knew that. Yes, you broke it, and did you?
Yeah, I think
hide
it's gonna be not bad, break it, but it was like some things. I broke a window of my car, a
Okay.
rear window, so sorry, rear glass. So I looking glass. It was a looking glass. So I didn't let my parents knew about it because I used to drive my car. So I know if they knew that and they will not allow me to drive anymore. So I kept it a secret and took money from my house by saying giving some other reason and repair it by my own.
Okay. Okay, Anand? Anand, are you there? Hello, Anand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Actually, I mute myself and just
Oh,
talking.
okay,
Sorry.
no problem. No problem. And then, do you think that in future, yes, people are going to read books, any kind of reading, more than what they're doing today? In
Mm,
general, people are going to
actually,
read more.
sir, the people who are actually readers, they will always read books, and people who are not the reader types, they will never read books. Actually, it doesn't depends on any time or specific time like that. Like in future or in past, it doesn't depends like
Okay,
that.
what about you? Do you read books? I'm not a reading person. I
No,
read
not.
I
Uh,
read technical stuff, say IELTS related stuff. This I need to read.
yes,
But
that one
but
is.
but I don't think I'm a really there was used to be a time when I was in school or college. I used to read, especially different books, not academic books. But these days, it seems that I don't really read much.
Yes, sir.
So okay. So what about your father? Does he read a
My
lot?
So actually, he just read the newspapers and some of the books and Quranship. That's it. He doesn't read anything else.
Okay. Have you asked him to read different things? Any books? Have you presented any books? Have you given him any books that why didn't you read this kind of book? Or he doesn't
Sir,
have time? Or
actually,
he
sir,
does?
I'm not a reader type. So how could I influence others to read, sir?
Okay. Is there anybody in your family who reads a lot, who loves
Mm,
reading?
No, there's no one I think that loves reading.
Okay. So how does it grow in a family? So you need to have a library. We listen to that. That they had a family library, and the kid.
I don't think so that actually affects it because I have my personal family library, sir, that we have, and beside this there is also some genetic stuffs like also factors like always the I hope you understand the genetics the one, and it depends on person. It varies from person to person. Actually, my family is not that much of reader types, and besides there are many families they are reader types and their children also reader types, and there are also many families their children are not reader types but their families are still reading books. So it depends on situations.
I see. Okay. Maun Bhai, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Um, okay, so we were talking about reading books. So how you're going to encourage do you think that those who read lots of books, they become successful in life? Is there any correlation between that? Reading a lots of book makes
To
you
my, to
successful
my
in life?
understanding, it is difficult to say if anyone read more books, he will succeed in life because success depends on various factors. If you do not set your in goal in your life, then you would not be say, a successful person. One of my cousin read so many books, but eventually he became vagabond, and everybody he is a victim of mockery, and
Nonetheless,
Okay.
not a successful person.
So
Rather, he is a laughing stock nowadays, and he is a verge of extinction, I think.
okay, so what about you have kids? are you going to, how you're going to encourage them to read? Would you focus on that?
I am always looking forward to read. Let them read the book, because I collect so many books to encourage them.
What kind of books do you collect? So how old are they? How old are your children?
One is 3 years old, another is 1 year.
So what kind of books are you providing them?
Children, some sorts of short novels, English novels, some types of words, some vocabularies, different species,
Okay,
different vegetables, etc. Some types of relatives' name, etc. I try to make them a reader, and I collected so many English books, novels, fiction, etc.
Do they understand novels at this stage, 3 years?
No. They, one day they will see that.
Okay. Gradually they will.
They will able to see that her father was a
collection.
So many books, and we have a library from different books, and I think they feel encouraged.
Okay, so that's a good thing, and at least to get them exposed. It
Yes,
could
sir.
be any books. So the books.
All IELTS material, GRE materials are there available.
Okay, at least if they can see that it's there, they know these are the books. Somebody's okay.
The elementary level books like Chetan Bhagat, I have collected so many Chetan Bhagat books. Then Mario Puji.
Or it could be any kind of books. It is, as long as those are books, those could be pictorial books or anything. As long as they know that, they will get some information. It might spark their imagination in some way, somewhere or others. Okay. Atik bhai?
Yes, sir.
Are you happy with the with the standard of schools, primary schools in Bangladesh? The way they teach youngsters, kids, or things could have been developed further, or we'll have to accept it because we are not a very developed country.
Thank you. When I completed schooling, that time our teachers were very qualified and well. It's because at that time most of the teachers who are in teaching profession took it just as a service. But nowadays in primary and high school level teachers, most of the people who are recruited for teaching are not up to mark standard. It's because political influence, nepotism, and other influential matter are prevailing there. So I think present schooling education system is not satisfactory level than our time.
Okay, Adnan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it is said that you should never meet your heroes. Why? Why it is said? You have role model. You should never meet your role model. Why? Is there any particular reason for that? Why it is said?
Well, I think that there might be a reason, because actually don't.
Anand, you have an answer for this?
Yes, sir.
You should never meet your heroes. Why? Why it's said? Do you agree that you should never meet your heroes. What they want to mean by this?
So actually, I'm not sure, but I have something in mind that whenever we love someone, we usually love them by seeing their good sides. And if we just meet
Yeah,
with them,
that's the thing.
and if we meet with them at their bad times, so they will contact us. They will not give us the correct feedback we were expecting. So that might
Okay,
hurt.
so yes, we almost take them as perfect. Everything is
Yes.
perfect, but when you come in close contact, so you might
Yes.
discover few flaws,
Yes, sir.
and finding flaws, in your role model sometimes, it's not a very good thing. So sometimes it's said that it's better. It's better not to. Okay, so. Maun Bhai,
Sir?
are you happy with the level of research that are being done in university level education in Bangladesh? Are you happy with that?
So, to my opinion, the funding of research are being underpaid for different universities in Bangladesh. It should be raised and should be focused from the different perspective because we are lagging behind the research work and sometimes we saw the news that our university teachers are get involved in plagiarism and their degree are failed. That's very pathetic. So researchers should get priority and in teaching profession we should not allow in recruitment process without high intensive researcher they should not be a teacher but our scenario is very much peril and it has already been peril because we reside in a nasty politicized country where nepotism is here. So I think there is very much factors that should be introduced and all-out effort and coordinated movement is required to do the same and the fund of research should be prioritized and it should be strictly implemented and student should have engaged in research work rather memorize the MP3 for BCS career. That's very pathetic, sir.
Okay. Okay, guys. So we are done with speaking. We are going to start our reading. Let's do a reading
Okay.
quickly. Let's do a reading,
Okay,
and
sir.
then if we get time, we'll do other stuff. Okay. So. Okay, so let's check this out. Ice reading, Land of the Rising Sun. So you should spend about 20 minutes on questions. So this is we are going to do a heading. This is a heading. Okay, this is the heading. This is one, and the other questions. There is a multiple choice, and there is a yes or not given. Okay, so there will be multiple choice as well. Okay, so let's. So I always usually suggest that you check out the question first, even the last question first, because sometimes it helps. It helps you to do it, at the same time, and the multitasking. You can do it in the same time. Three of these three types: yes, no, not given, and there could be multiple choices. Multiple choices. This is also another multiple choices. Let's start. Okay, let's start with the heading. So how do you do that? Okay, so here we will read this part and then we'll read the heading. So we have the answer. Example A is already done and it's 4. I think we can cross it out first. And we have A. We can even, with pencil, we can even cross it out, no problem. And then we can check it. Okay, let's start reading. The first, we still should read it, because if you read it, there are other types of question as well. We know it's solved already for heading, but for other types, there might be problems. Okay, so Japan has a significantly better record in terms of average mathematical attainment than England and Wales. Large sample international comparisons of pupils' attainment since the 1960s have established that not only did Japanese pupils at age 13 have better scores of average attainment, but there was also a larger proportion of low attainers in England, where incidentally, the variation in attainment scores was much greater. The percentage of gross national product spent on education is reasonably similar in two countries. So how is this higher and more consistent attainment in maths achieved? আচ্ছা এটা তাহলে ওইটা তো অ্যানসার দেয়াই আছে যে কোশ্চেন সো আমি লেটস স্টার্ট রিডিং বি বিটা কি হবে লোয়ার সেকেন্ডারি ফার্স্ট সেন্টেন্সটা খুব বেশি মনোযোগ দিয়ে পড়া উচিত নরমালি প্রথমে এক থেকে দুইটা সেন্টেন্স বিকজ দিস ইজ হোয়াট দি টপিক সেন্টেন্স ঠিক আছে টপিক সেন্টেন্স এবং পরে আমি যেভাবে করি once we read the whole thing at least this paragraph I should be in a position to say point out that probably these 3 ideas dominates the whole paragraph, not anything else. If I can do that, if I leave out all the extra information, then in most of the cases, but the answer will be among those 3. And some people say that, why don't I read on the first 3 or 4 sentences? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, most of the time it works, but still, if you want to get a 9 out of 9, but I won't. Or if you want to give a full answer, I don't think it's a wise decision, a wise step. Lower secondary schools in Japan cover 3 school years, from the 7th grade, age 13 to 9th grade, age 15. Virtually all pupils at this stage attend state schools. Only 3% per person are in private sector. Schools are usually modern in design, set well back from the road and spacious inside. Classrooms are large and people sit at single desks in rows. Lessons last for a standardized 50 minutes and are always followed by a 10-minute break, which gives the pupils a chance to let off steam. Teachers begin with a formal address and mutual bowing, and then concentrate on whole class teaching. So then classes are large, usually about 40 and unstreamed and are unstreamed. Anybody who can tell what is unstreamed means? Unstreamed, anybody following me? Annan? Are you there? Hello, Annan.
I think unstreamed is usually about 40, not perfect. Or
no unstreamed means they're not only the good students are in one class it's mixed, it's kind of mixed, not stream. Okay. It's a mixture. What if they put all the good students in one class, like that, or sometimes only science subject, that could be different, but they want to mix it up somehow. People stay in the same class for all lessons throughout the school and develop considerable class identity and loyalty. People attend the school in their own neighborhood, which in theory removes ranking by school. In practice in Tokyo, because of the relative concentration of schools, there is some competition to get into the better schools in particular areas. So what we read about how their lower secondary school is structured, and and some other traits of. Okay, so which one will read that? এটা কোনটা হবে একটু দেখেন তো।
কোনটা স্যার? বি?
Yes, yes, B. And then which one will be B?
Middle years education, background to middle years education in Japan.
কোনটা হবে?
Background to middle years education in Japan.
Background to middle years. Okay, good. Eta কোনটা হবে? এইটা হবে। Okay, fine. So we are done with this one. Okay, next. Let's read the next. Traditional ways of teaching from the basis of lesson and the remarkably quiet classes take their own notes of the points made and the examples demonstrated. Everyone has their own copy of the textbooks supplied by the Central Education Authority, Monboshu, as part of the concept of free compulsory education up to age of 15. These textbooks are on the whole small, presumably inexpensive to produce, but well set out and logically developed. One teacher was particularly keen to introduce color and pictures into maths textbooks. He felt this would make them more accessible to people brought up in a cartoon culture. Besides approving textbook, Monbushu also decides the highly centralized national curriculum and how it is to be delivered. So what could be? এটা কি হবে? দেখেন তো।
I think the influence of Monbushu.
কোনটা হতে পারে?
স্যার প্রথমটা।
সি, এটা সবাই এটা ছিল। আচ্ছা, এখানে Monbushu was the highlight. Everyone you take about what Monbushu does. আচ্ছা, এটাই হবে। এটা কি হবে? আচ্ছা, the influence of Monbushu. আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। পরেরটা আমরা করি। পরেরটা হচ্ছে যে lessons all follow the same patterns. At the beginning, the pupils put solutions to the homework on the board. Then the teachers comment, correct, or elaborate as necessary. আচ্ছা, lessons all follow the same pattern. এটা কিন্তু প্রথম সেন্টেন্সে আমাদের খুব কি করতে হবে, একটু ভালো করে খেয়াল করতে হবে। বাকিগুলো কিন্তু ওইটারই follow through. তারপর pupils mark their own homework. This is an important principle in Japanese school as it enables people to see where and why they made a mistake, so that these can be avoided in future. No one minds mistakes or ignorance as long as you are prepared to learn from them. After the homework has been discussed, the teacher explains the topic of the lesson slowly and with a lot of repetition and elaboration. Examples are demonstrated on the board. Questions from the textbook are worked through first with the class, and then the class is set question, and then from the textbook to do individually. Only rarely are supplementary worksheets distributed in the maths class. The impression is that the logical nature of the textbook and their comprehensive coverage of different types of examples, combined with the relative homogeneity of the class, renders worksheets unnecessary. At this point, the teacher will circulate and make sure that all pupils were copying well. আচ্ছা, এটা কি হবে?
Typical format, comparative expenditure.
আমরা কোনটা দেখছি? এটা কি ডি বোধহয়, না? ডিটা কোনটা হবে? সবাই প্রায় একই জিনিস করছে, না? তার জন্য আলাদা আলাদা ইয়ে না। তাহলে কোনটা?
Typical format.
আচ্ছা, এইটাই কারেক্ট। এটা the answer is the typical format of a maths class. তাহলে আমাদের 1 4 5 7, না? 1 4 5 7 এই কয়েকটা হলো। Okay, let's move on to the next page. 1 4 5 7. So 1 4 5 7
Seven.
Okay. Okay, the next one, let's read it out. তারপর এইটা কি হচ্ছে, it is remarkable that large mixed ability classes could be kept together for maths and throughout all their compulsory schooling from 6 to 15. Teachers said that they gave individual help at the end of a lesson or after school. Setting extra work is necessary. If necessary, as in observed lessons, any struggles would be assisted by a teacher or quietly seek help from their neighbor. Carefully fostered class identity makes people keen to help each other. Anyway, it is in their interest since the class progress together. এটা কি হতে পারে? Focused on it is that large groups could be kept together for maths, মানে একসঙ্গে পড়ানোর যে সুবিধাটা আছে। কোনটা হবে? This is E বোধহয় না? এর কোনটা হবে? কোনটা ফোকাস?
So 6টা হইতে পারে।
Comparative expenditure on maths. না, এটা বলেছে expenditure সম্বন্ধে খুব বেশি কিছু বলেছে।
Helping less successful students.
হ্যাঁ, এইটাই। মানে এইটা। So they help each other. Okay. তারপরটা let's move on to the next one. আচ্ছা, এটা কি আমরা পুরোটুকু পড়েছি?
না, লাস্টে
আচ্ছা, এই এতটুকু পড়িনি না? This scarcely seems adequate help to enable slow learners to keep up. However, the Japanese attitude towards education runs along the lines of if you work hard enough, you can do almost anything. Parents are kept closely informed of their children's progress and will play a part in helping their children to keep up with class, sending them to Juku, private evening tuition, if extra help is needed, and encouraging them to work harder. It seems to work, at least for 95% of the school population. আচ্ছা, এটা তো আমরা পেয়েছি অ্যান্সারটা। পরেরটা পড়ি, so what are the major contributing factors to the success of maths teaching? Clearly, attitudes are হয়ে গেল। Okay, so as important compulsory subject throughout the schooling and the emphasis on hard work coupled with the focus on accuracy. So the major contributing factor in the success of maths teaching, clearly, attitudes are important. Education is valued greatly in Japanese culture. Maths is recognized as an important compulsory subject throughout schooling, and the emphasis is on hard work coupled with a focus on accuracy. Other relevant points that relate to the supportive attitude of a class towards the slower pupils, to the lack of competition within a class, and the positive emphasis on learning for oneself and improving one's own standard. And the view of repetitively boring lessons and learning the facts by heart, which is sometimes and the view of repetitive boring lessons and learning facts by heart, which is sometimes quoted in the relation to Japanese classes, may be unfair and unjustified. No poor maths lessons were observed. They were mainly good, and one or two were inspiration. Okay. তাহলে এইটার কিটা কোনটা হবে? এটা যেটা আমরা পড়লাম, what could be the
success of compulsory education.
আমরা বোধহয় F দেখছি এখন না? কোনটা হবে?
Success of compulsory education.
আচ্ছা, ওরা তো গেছে 8 এ। The study the key to Japanese success in maths education.
Contributing factor.
হ্যাঁ। Okay, so এটা মোটামুটি বেশ একটু ইজি ছিল বোধহয়। এটা the first part. Is it the first part or no? Yes, the first part. The first part is normally easier. তারপর আমরা দেখি, let's move on to multiple choice. অথবা না, yes or not, that comes first. As yes or not given, how do you do that? আমরা first we'll read this out. আচ্ছা ফার্স্ট এটা আচ্ছা দেখি তো আমরা মোটামুটি তো পড়েছি আমরা নলেজ থেকে দেয়া যায় নাকি কিন্তু নলেজ থেকে চেষ্টা করা উচিত না হ্যাঁ বেশিরভাগ ক্ষেত্রে ওই জায়গাটা যেখানে ছিল ওখানে গিয়ে পড়তে হয় there is a wider range of achievement among English people studying maths than amongst their Japanese counterparts এই ব্যাপারে কিছু বলা হয়েছে নাকি না বুঝতে পারছেন না বোধহয় এই ব্যাপারে কিছু বলা হয়েছে there is a wider range of achievement among English people studying maths than amongst their Japanese counterparts
Sir, I don't think so.
আচ্ছা দেখি তো whether এখানে দেখি তো not only the Japanese people have better scores also but there is also the percent of national production is similar in two countries so এইটা কোনটা হবে ওরা কি এর থেকে ভালো জাপানে there is a wider range of achievement amongst English studying maths then there আচ্ছা এখানে একটু দেখি তো এখানে বোঝাই করেছে এই জায়গাটায় এটা দেখি এটা তো ওয়ান এ না দেখি তো but there was a larger proportion of low attainers in England where incidentally the variation is attainment scores আচ্ছা এখান থেকে আমরা কিছু পাচ্ছি percent of gross spend is reasonably similar in two countries so how this higher kara better Japan has a significantly better record in terms of average mathematical attainment than England and Wales. Large sample international comparison of people's attainments in the 1960s have established that not only did Japanese people at age 13 have better scores of average attainment, but there was also a larger proportion of low attainers in England. আচ্ছা তাহলে কি হবে এটা ট্রু ফলস নাকি নট গিভেন ওরা বলতে চাচ্ছে যে there is a wider range of achievement among English people studying maths than amongst their Japanese counterparts. এটা no
So no হওয়ার possibilities বেশি
আচ্ছা no ঠিক আছে তাহলে let's move on to the next one তারপরটা কি let's check পরেরটা হলো the percentage of gross national product spent on education generally reflects the level of attainment in mathematics 7
Yes.
The percentage of gross national product spent on education generally reflects the level of আচ্ছা এটা 7 কোথায় আছে দেখি 7 the percentage of gross national product spent on education is reasonably similar in two countries so how is the higher and more consistent attainment in maths achieved এটা কি টাকা পয়সা খরচের উপর নির্ভর করে না কিন্তু হ্যাঁ এটা নো হবে কারণ এইটা যদি সত্যি হয় if it is true আচ্ছা the percentage এটা ঠিক আছে যে এই জায়গাটা ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ এই জায়গাটা সো এখান থেকে আমরা নো পাচ্ছি that's not the case আচ্ছা তারপরটা আমরা দেখি let's move on to 4 হচ্ছে sorry 6 7 8 private schools in Japan are more modern and spacious than state-run lower secondary school এটা বোধহয় কোথাও বলেনি এইটা বলেনি যে ওরা বলেছে that expensive কিন্তু ওরা যে আচ্ছা তারপরে এটা বলেনি এটা হবে তাহলে not given what about teachers mark homework in Japanese schools এটা কি বলছে টিচার্স মার্ক হোমওয়ার্ক এন্ড এটা কি হবে
মার্কিং করে না আর ডিসকাস করে
হ্যাঁ
ইয়েসি হবে
আচ্ছা দেখি তো এই যে এখানে বলছে E. Virtually all people at this stage attend school once per 3 at the school, usually modern, set well back. And in classrooms are large and pupils can sit at single desktop in rows. Lessons last for standard 50 minutes and are always followed by. And the camera answer to Pachi. Teachers begin with one answer, unusual. What was the question? The question was
হোমওয়ার্ক
হচ্ছে যে টিচার্স মার্ক হোমওয়ার্ক ইন জাপানিজ স্কুলস মার্ক করে
ওরা প্রথমে স্যার ওই যে হোমওয়ার্কটার উপরে ডিসকাস করে
আচ্ছা এখানে একটা আছে বোধহয়
টিপিক্যাল ফরম্যাট হবে ম্যাথ ক্লাস যেটা স্যার এখানে আছে
এই যে এখানে পিপলস on the board the lessons এই যে পিপলস মার্ক देयर ওন হোমওয়ার্ক
পিপল এটা নো হবে
এটা নো হবে ঠিক আছে এটা ধরে ধরে এমন করে একটা একটা করে কিন্তু নট নেসেসারিলি যে প্রত্যেকটা প্যারাগ্রাফে পাওয়া যেতে পারে নাও যেতে পারে ফাইন আচ্ছা এটা যদি হয় এটা তারপরটা আমরা লেটস মুভ অন টু মাল্টিপল চয়েসেস আচ্ছা এইটা কি হবে এটা আমরা একটু দেখি এটা হলো maths textbook in Japanese schools are cheap for pupils to buy, well organized and adapted to the needs of the pupils, written to be used in conjunction with TV programs, not very popular with many Japanese teachers. আচ্ছা এটা কোনটা বলা হয়েছে এটা কোনটা হবে
দেখে নিতে হবে
কোনটা মনে হচ্ছে একটু পরে
বি হবে নাকি স্যার
বি যে বি হবে আচ্ছা 10 এর অ্যানসারটা বোধহয় এই ধরনের জায়গায় দিয়েছি
সি হইতে হয় টিভি প্রোগ্রাম
আচ্ছা these textbooks একটু দেখতে আমাদের সিতে
inexpensive to produce
কি বলছে inexpensive to produce but was set out logically এটা these textbooks are on the whole small presumably inexpensive to produce but well set out and logically developed সেইটাই অ্যানসার হবে না
এটা
ওকে তারপরে নেক্সট মুভ অন টু দ্য নেক্সট ওয়ান এরপরে কি হবে when a new maths topic is introduced 11 টা কি হবে আর তারপর students answer question on the board they rely entirely on the textbook it is carefully and patiently explained to the students that it's unusual for students to start
সি নাকি স্যার
হ্যাঁ এটা 11 টা কোথায় হতে পারে আচ্ছা 11 টা বোধহয় আমাদের এখানে থাকতে হবে 11 এর জন্য firstly new maths topic is when a new maths topic is introduced আচ্ছা এইটা এই জায়গাটা পড়িত আমাদের
টিপিক্যাল যে ম্যাথের যে ইয়া ছিল স্যার
এই জায়গাটা পড়িত
ওইটার নিচেই স্যার যেখানে পাইলাম ওইটার নিচেই থাকবে।
আচ্ছা, ওর নিচে থাকতে পারে না? একটু দেখেন জিতে
এইখানে থাকতে পারে।
is at the beginning the people's solution. আচ্ছা, এই যে এখানে teachers explain. The teachers explain the topic to the of the lesson slowly. Slowly and with a lot of repetition and elaboration. তাহলে কোনটা হবে?
After
কোনটা হবে?
this
11. আচ্ছা, 11 they will go for C. Carefully and patiently explain to the student. তারপরে how do people deal with students who experience difficulties? 12 নম্বর
হেল্প করে। তারপরে স্যার
12 নম্বরটা কোথায় পাবে?
have given appropriate supplementary tuition, এটা ইয়ে হবে।
12 নম্বরটা
নেইবারহুড হেল্প করে বা স্যাররা এক্সট্রা ক্লাস নেয়।
12 নম্বরটা আমরা কোথায় এই ধরনের একটা জায়গায় পাচ্ছি? স্যার, হ্যাঁ, এই যে teachers say that the poetry teachers say that they give individual help at the end of the lesson or after school, setting extra work if necessary.
Supplementary tuition পাইছে।
In observed lesson, any struggles would be assisted by teachers or quality seek help from the neighbor, carefully foster. So সবাই যত্ন নেয় না? আচ্ছা, এটা তাহলে এটা কি হবে? নাম্বার 11. আচ্ছা, সরি 11 না 12? 11. এটা কোনটা হবে দেখেন তো? 11 এর কোনটা হতে পারে? এইটা। আচ্ছা, 11 এর হচ্ছে সি, আর 12 হচ্ছে how do schools deal with students who experience difficulties? 12 এটা কিভাবে করে?
supplementary tuition পাচ্ছে স্যার।
12
এক্সট্রা ক্লাস নেওয়া হচ্ছে, নেইবারহুড হেল্প করতেছে।
ওরা একে গেছে। আচ্ছা, তারপর আমরা এখন আমরা 13 করবো বোধহয়, না নাকি 12? 13. Why do Japanese students tend to achieve relatively high rates of success in maths? এটা কোনটা হতে পারে?
compulsory subject in Japan.
এটা না, ওরা বোধহয় সি তে গেছে লাস্টে। much effort is made and correct answers are emphasized. একই জিনিস বারবার করতে করতে ওরা মোটামুটি ভালো হয়েছে। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। So এটা 1 to 13, it was relatively easy because it's the first one usually, but there's no guarantee that you'll always get the first one easy. আচ্ছা, আপনারা কি কোনো ভিডিও দেখবেন? You want to watch a video?
ওকে স্যার, একটা দেন স্যার।
হ্যাঁ, আমি সেট করে দিই, তাহলে we can check it at least. লিখতে তো হবেই।
আমি স্যার লিড করতেছি।
হ্যাঁ, করুন। আচ্ছা, কোনো সমস্যা নেই। থ্যাংক ইউ। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ। স্টপ শেয়ার। একটা ছোট ভিডিও দিই। আজকে আমরা টাস্ক 1 এর মিক্স গ্রাফ দেখবো। হ্যাঁ, আচ্ছা, মিক্স গ্রাফ টাইপের। এটা দেখা যাচ্ছে? হ্যাঁ, রিপিটিং, you can watch it, you can view it. আপনারা কি দেখতে পাচ্ছেন সবাই যারা দেখছেন?
জি স্যার।
You can watch it. How to write a mail.
Hello, I'm Jackie from IELTSjackie.com. Welcome to this lesson on how to write a multiple graph essay. Multiple graph questions are quite common in academic task 1. Students often panic when they see these as they're worried about having to interpret two different types of data. As long as you've learnt how to write essays on each type of graph, you'll have no problem with multiple graph questions. A question could include any combination of the following: a bar chart, a line graph, a pie chart, and a table chart. You'll find lessons on each of them, including videos, via the link to the writing section of my website, IELTSjackie.com, in the notes below this video. To write a high-scoring academic Task 1 essay, I recommend that you use this 5-step process. First, analyse the question. Next, identify the main features of the graphic. Then write an introduction. After that, you write an overview. And finally, you write the detail paragraphs. In this lesson, we're going to work through the 5 stages step by step as we answer a practice question. Before we start, here's a model essay structure that you can use as a guideline for all academic Task 1 questions. Ideally, your essay should have 4 paragraphs. Paragraph 1 is the introduction. Paragraph 2, an overview. In paragraph 3, you should write about the first main feature. And in paragraph 4, you should write about the second main feature. We now have everything we need to begin planning and writing our essay. Here's our practice question, which includes a pie chart and a table. The pie chart shows the main reasons why agricultural land becomes less productive. The table shows how these causes affected 3 regions of the world during the 1990s. Summarise the information by selecting and reporting the main features, and make comparisons where relevant. Write at least 150 words. The format of every academic Task 1 question is the same. Here's our practice question again, with the words that will be included in all questions highlighted. Every question consists of sentence 1, which is a brief description of the graphic, sentence 2, the instructions, and sentence 3, the graphic itself, which might be the diagram, the chart, graph, table, etc. Sentence 2 tells you what you have to do. You must do 3 things. 1. Select the main features. 2. Write about the main features. And 3. Compare the main features. All 3 tasks refer to the main features of the graphic. You do not have to write about everything. Just pick out 2 or 3 key features and you'll have plenty to write about. The graphics in multiple graph questions should not be difficult to interpret. Each question is being created to test your language skills, not your mathematics ability. All you're looking for are the main features, and these will usually be the easiest things to spot. In most Task 1 questions, you will be looking for 2 main features in one graph, chart or table. In multiple graph questions, look for 1 main feature in each graphic. There will be lots of information in the graphics to help you identify them. And here are some useful questions to ask. The first question relates specifically to bar charts and line graphs, but the rest apply to all graph and chart types. What information do the 2 axes give? What are the units of measurement? What are the time periods? What can you learn from the title and any labels? What's the most obvious trend? And are there any notable similarities? I give more detail on how to use these questions, plus downloadable checklists for identifying the main features of all 7 different types of academic Task 1 questions in the lesson on how to understand and analyse Task 1 questions. There's a link to it in the notes below this video. So what main features stand out in each of the graphics in our practice question? Here are the pie chart and table again. The main features for the pie chart are: the biggest cause of land degradation worldwide is overgrazing. And the main feature of the table is that Europe has the highest percentage of degraded land. We're now ready to begin writing our essay. Here's a reminder of the four-part structure we're going to use. Paragraph 1 is the introduction. Paragraph 2, the overview. Paragraph 3, you give details of the first graph or chart. And in paragraph 4, we give details of the second graph or chart. First, the introduction. There isn't room to include the graphics on each slide, but if you want to refer to them as we work through the 4 paragraphs, bring up the lesson on my website, IELTSjackie.com, where you'll be able to see it. There's a link in the notes below. In the introduction, you should simply paraphrase the question. That is, say the same thing in a different way. You can do this by using synonyms and changing the sentence structure. For example, here's the question again. The pie chart shows the main reasons why agricultural land becomes less productive. The table shows how these causes affected 3 regions of the world during the 1990s. And this is how you could write the introduction. The pie chart illustrates the primary causes of land deterioration across the globe, while the table outlines how 3 different regions were affected by these damaging factors in the 1990s. And that's all you need to do for the introduction. In the second paragraph, you should report the main features you have identified, giving only general information. The detail comes later in the essay. However, with just 20 minutes allowed for task 1 and a requirement of only 150 words, you won't be able to include many details. Here are the features we picked out again. For the pie chart, the biggest cause of land degradation worldwide is overgrazing. And for the table, Europe has the highest percentage of degraded land. Now form these ideas into 2 or 3 sentences with a total of around 40 words. State the information simply using synonyms where possible. No elaborate vocabulary or grammar structures are required, just the appropriate words and correct verb tenses. For example, it is clear from the pie chart that the main reason why farmland becomes less productive is overgrazing. The data in the table reveals that Europe had the highest percentage of degraded land compared to North America and Oceania for the period recorded. Paragraphs 3 and 4 of your multiple graph essay are where you include more detailed information about the data in the graphics. In paragraph 3, you should give evidence to support your first key feature. Here it is again. The biggest cause of land degradation worldwide is overgrazing. And here's an example of what you could write. The pie chart presents 2 additional key reasons for the decrease in the productivity of agricultural land. These are deforestation and overcultivation. Although tree clearance is almost as damaging as grazing too many animals at 30%, it has a 5% lower impact than overgrazing. Excessive cultivation is the least problematic, at just over a quarter of the total. For the 4th and final paragraph, you do the same thing for your second key feature. Our second feature is: Europe had the highest percentage of degraded land. And here's an example of what you could write. According to the table, 23% of Europe's agricultural land was affected by these damaging practices. This was almost double the percentage in Oceania, the next most affected region. North America experienced by far the lowest level of productivity loss, with a figure of just 5% of its total agricultural land. Here are the 4 paragraphs brought together to create our finished essay. Pause the video and read through it so that you can hear how the 4 paragraphs flow from one to the other. This sample essay is over the minimum word limit, so you can see that you don't have space to include very much detail at all. That's why it's essential to select just a couple of main features to write about. Now use what you've learnt in this lesson to practice answering other multiple graph questions. Start slowly at first and keep practicing until you can plan and write a complete essay in around 20 minutes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Goodbye for now.
Okay. Adnan, are you there?
Hi, I'm Jackie from IELTSjackie.com.
Yes, sir.
In this
Okay.
video,
Thank you.
I'm going
Yes,
to show
sir.
you step by step
Wait.
how to write main body paragraph.
Okay, thank you for being with us, and hopefully we're having class tomorrow. Enjoying
Yes,
tomorrow's
sir.
class as well. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, sir.
Take care
Thank
then.
you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Bye.
You too. Take care, sir.